Welcome back to the Steve Gruber Show. Glad you're here for the conversation. Look, over the last couple of years, I've heard a lot about my next guest from Ivy. She's talked about him a lot. You need to read this book. You need to read this book. Well, I finally got around to it because Ivy also taught me into doing this thing called 75 Hard, which is fairly difficult to say the least. We'll get back to that in a moment. I'll tell you more about that. I've not talked about it yet. We're 25 days in. We're off to a pretty good start. We'll talk about that. But my next guest, Grant Cardone, a fascinating individual to me. He's the CEO, a private equity fund manager, real estate investor, CEO of Cardone Capital and Cardone Training Technology. He's back with me today because coming up in just a few days, he's at the Grant Cardone 10X Wealth Conference, October 9th and 10th in Miami. When he's here last, he invited me to come down, Ivy and I, and we're going to go. We're fascinated. Grant, welcome back to the program.
Hey, great to be with you, my friend. I love what you're doing and love all the stories that you and I get to share before the show.
Well, so here it is. The first book I read that Ivy read said, you got to read this book, The 10X Rule. So as part of this other thing that I'm doing, I read The 10X Rule, fascinated by it, because what I discovered here is something we probably all know, but don't really talk about, and that is work ethic, Grant. You got to bust your tail in this world. And if you do, you don't have to be the smartest or the prettiest, but if you're hardworking and dedicated and will commit to something, you can make great things happen. I think that's the biggest takeaway so far. Am I on the right track?
Yeah, you are on the right track, but in addition to the hard work and the work ethic, because there's a lot of people in America work hard, and I mean, lots of people work very, very hard. Very few people work harder than I do, but you can work hard and still not really get any place. So if you could actually get on an escalator, the 10X rule is really like an escalator. So you're not just doing the steps, you're actually getting some pull up. Because let's be honest, like, you know, if you're a Uber driver and you're working an extra 2 hours, it's still just 2 hours of a very low wage. Or you're at McDonald's or Starbucks, whatever, you still are probably not on the right path to consider creating freedom for yourself. So Americans, and I sent this letter to both Donald Trump and to Ms. Harris, suggesting that this country needs to now teach wealth and prosperity education, not just math. We need to teach people the wealth path in this country, that there's 5 ways to create wealth. You inherit it, you marry it, which is by the way, you can marry more money in one day, Steve, than you can make in a lifetime. Yeah. Three, you're going to either start a company, join a company, or be a partner in a company. Number 4, invest. That's the easiest way. Number 4 is absolutely the best path, which is all about 10X, right? How do I multiply wealth? And the 5th way, the hardest way, almost the impossible way, is to get lucky.
Yeah. Wait for your ship to come in. Yeah, good luck with that. It doesn't always work that way. Good luck with your ship coming in. You'll be standing on the dock for a long time.
Yeah. Waiting at the dock.
All right, so you've got a whole conference coming up in Miami. We're on our way down there, Ivy and I. You were kind enough to invite us down. We're going to come down, and you've got a whole list. I mean, when you talk about the people that are going to be there, Gary Cohen, Bill Pulte, Thomas Lee, David Wild, I mean, this is a list of some of the most successful people, not just in America, but in the world, that are going to share their wisdom with people. And so it's not just your books, which are terrific, but it's a wealth of really successful people. And I've always believed if you surround yourself with really smart, successful people, you elevate yourself. That's something else you talk about in your books, isn't it?
Yeah, and then this is the escalator, the elevator, right? Like, how do you lift up? How do you multiply your knowledge 10 times? Or how do you multiply your wealth or possibility or opportunities or investments 10 times? Is you get in the room with people that have done more than you. So we're putting this event on so that I can be around other people. Literally, there's going to be a guy there that is a high school dropout. His name's Bob Duggan. Bob has had 5 successful IPOs. He's a high school dropout, by the way. Unbelievable human being. The last time I was with Bob, he was worth $2 billion. He told me this year he would be worth $6 billion. This week, he's worth $16 billion.
So he's had a pretty good week. It's a nice neighborhood to be in. And one of the things you impress upon people, it's not just that you have to go work hard at this. You have a duty to create wealth for yourself, your family,
Yes.
your children,
Yeah.
your community. You have a duty. It's an obligation that we have. And I agree with you on that. It is an
Yeah.
obligation that we have to do this. And it's not just you, these world-class experts like Mr. Dugan you just talked about. They feel the
Yeah.
same way, don't they?
100%. And look, it's not about money and cars, and it's not just about the stuff and the watches. Most of these people don't have any of that stuff.
Right.
You know, Bob Duggan doesn't have his own private jet. He charters when he wants to fly someplace. Like, and he's not driven by money or clothes or show off. Like, he is driven by a purpose to reach his full potential. Let's face it, the government has got their hands full. They cannot properly handle a hurricane. Okay, they can't handle immigration. They can't handle education at a primary level. It is the duty and the responsibility of the American people to live in this great country that we live in, to like learn what you got to learn, to connect with whoever you need to connect with. Probably not where you live. You guys are leaving Michigan to come to Miami. The best opportunities of my life I've had to travel to go get. And that's what the 10X rule. The 10X rule is basically, look, change your neighborhood, change your mind, change your friends, get around people that are doing more than you're doing, and you have an opportunity that some of that might just wear off on you.
You know, and you talk about putting really smart people around, because some people, and we meet these people, they want to be the smartest person in the room no matter where they are. And I'm thinking, that doesn't elevate me. I want to be around people. I want to be the dumbest guy in the room some days, Grant, because that way I get elevated. Yep. I learn. I become the sponge. I bring it all in. And one of the things you talk about, and I'm going to guess a lot of these things are included in this wealth seminar, get-together, bad advice. We all get advice from people that don't know anything about what they're talking about. Oh, you know, you can't do with that money. Oh, that's greedy people. Rich people are this or that. All this bad advice, not just about money, but about life, about relationships. We get a pile of bad information. People do in general, don't we?
Constant, endless amounts of bad information. This is why when I wrote the Trump administration or hopefully the Trump administration and the Biden or Harris administration, I'm like, look, Americans have been financially indoctrinated to do the incorrect things around money. And the first thing we need to do is strip that off, relook in the 21st century here in 2024. Hey, what are the new rules about money and finance? That's why I'm doing this event, because these people are coming in from Wall Street, from insurance companies, from hedge funds, from IPOs. These people have created hundreds of billions of dollars of wealth for themselves, and they're sharing secrets with me and the audience that of what they're doing and their family office doing to unwind this financial indoctrination. We live, 330 million people live in this country, and where there's tremendous opportunity, and most of us are suffering.
There's no question. There's no question. You know, and you touch on something there that I think is incredibly important. They don't teach fiscal responsibility in elementary, middle, or high school. And look, let's be perfectly honest about this. Most members of Congress are financially illiterate. They've never worked in a place where they're responsible for money. They're financially illiterate. And that's the problem, Grant, that I see from where I sit. Financial illiteracy is something we could deal with. And we can start teaching kids about money in elementary school and credit card debt in middle school. Make people scared of the things they should be frightened of, which is massive credit card debt and 30% interest. And these things should frighten people, right?
Or how about just being in the middle class? People should be scared to be in the middle class. Look what happened in North Carolina yesterday.
Right.
Or 2 days ago. There's 10 or 15 or 20,000 people that thought that they were fine in life. They had their homes paid for. Their homes are gone.
Boom.
The cars are gone. They didn't have insurance.
Yeah.
They have no income. They have no retirement. They have no investments. Boom, everything's over. They're waiting for the government. The government sends them a $750.
They have no hope. They have no hope. Hold on. Grant Cardone, CEO, private equity fund manager, real estate investor here doing the 10X Wealth Conference. Grant, let's continue on now. Let's talk about the devastation. Being in the middle class, I kind of came up with this reading your books. Being in the middle class is really being in the middle of nowhere, isn't it?
Dude, it's my daughter says, so Papa, what is the middle class? I said, what do you think it is? She's like, I think it's people that are poor that think they're rich. I said, you got it. I grew up in a class of people where our cars were paid for, our house was paid for, and we only thought we were okay because we were better off than the people down the street. And you're okay until you're not okay. Look up today. Look at the middle class in America today, shrinking every year, shrinking because of taxes and inflation. And every 4 years, we get to elect somebody that promises to take care of the middle class, when the truth is the politicians need to tell us the truth. Hey, there is no middle class in America. It's gone. Okay. There's the wealthy, the well-to-do, the people that are free, the people that have freedom, prosperity, and abundance. And then there's everybody else. And that's what we need to re-educate America on. Like, how do you reduce your tax bill? How do you own investments? How do you get real leverage? How do you actually use good
But
debt?
this is not what we teach people. Grant, we send kids to college to spend $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 to get a 4-year degree, and it doesn't matter, pick your degree, spin the wheel. We never teach them how to start businesses, create wealth. We teach them how to plug into a machine and be a sprocket in the machine. That's all we teach these kids. Hey, you're going to work for a big company and you're going to be really successful. Maybe you make $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year. That doesn't get you. It doesn't teach people how to rise above that middle class, right?
There's not one class. If you get a job at Facebook and make $250, there's not one class that shows you actually what you end up with.
Right.
If we gave that kind of education, by the way, most people wouldn't even go to college.
Well, and they probably shouldn't, to be honest with you. I mean, college is a heck of a racket. We should open a college, Grant. We'd make a lot of money. We wouldn't do a lot of good, but we'd make a lot of money. That's for sure.
College is one of the biggest criminal rackets ever created.
Yeah, and now this administration, for giving student loans. Here, I got an idea, and you just tell me if this is good. I think that the universities and colleges of this country should have a stake in it. What I mean by that is they sell a kid a degree for $100,000. They should be the co-signer on that loan. If 5 years down the road or 8 years down the road, that kid has not produced a job that pays off that student loan, then the university with these giant endowments, they should be on the hook for that degree, not the kid and not me.
If I sell products, if I sell a $100,000 product online and the person doesn't get their money back, they're going to ask for a refund.
Right. But the government doesn't take taxpayer dollars and refund it. It's not how it's supposed to work, but that's what this government's doing. Paying back kids for degrees that were worthless from universities that crank up the cost every year. The cost of tuition goes up every year to get a degree that's worth less every year if it's worth anything. Now, I want my doctor to go to college, or my dentist, or my architect. There are certain jobs you have to go to college for, right?
It won't be necessary in the future, Steve. The doctor won't go to college. The architect won't go to college. The designer won't go to college. The engineer. Look, Elon Musk even says, I don't even care about your college degree. In fact, I'd rather you not have one. Right. If you're a good engineer, you're a good engineer. So AI is going to replace all those jobs, including the brain surgeon and the heart surgeon.
Really?
Those jobs are going to go away. So, and look at the schools. Primary schools in America are sending letters to kids or to the kids' parents. Hey, you got to agree not to use AI for your kids. I'm like, use the AI, kids. The AI is a way for you to get brighter faster.
So you believe in the expanding technology, and I think that what Elon Musk has done has been remarkable. Of course, he gets attacked every day for being one of the most remarkable people honestly in human history for all the things that he's done. Wouldn't you say that's fair?
Yeah, 100%. You should run for governor of Michigan, though, because they need a new responsible politician over there.
We
you look good.
That's for sure. Good. Well, I appreciate that. And you're going to see me in person here shortly. My wife, far more talented than I am. I definitely married up, which is an important part of the deal. If you're going to make a sales pitch, make it to a person you're going to spend the next 40 or 50 years with. That's for sure. All right. So real quick, things that you're going to talk about at the Wealth Conference: real estate investing, private equity investing, the stock market, entity and trust strategies, tax strategies. All of these things will be on the table, right?
What are the wealthy doing? That's what I want to know. So basically, I spend $2 or $3 million to bring all these people together to get advice from people over 2 days. So I share it with my audience, and the public can come. If you guys want to learn about what the wealthy are doing what are they investing in right now? Why is Warren Buffett the largest holder of treasury bills, including the federal government? What is he doing that you and I don't know? What is the big smart money doing? Why does Nancy Pelosi get to, is worth $300 or $400 million and she's never made more than $179,000 a year? What does she know that we don't know?
Compound interest, apparently. Compound interest, Craig. She's really been a master of that. That's Nancy Pelosi. Look, real quick, before I forget this part, where do people find tickets? The event's coming up October 9th and 10th in Miami. If you're in the cold states, hey, take a break, go see Grant and all of these great experts. Because I got a couple more questions, but where do people go to get tickets?
Yeah, go to 10xwealthcon.com. I think it's 10x, the number 10xwealthcon.com.
All right. I see you online a fair amount. You're fairly political. You don't hold your punches. Your mother was right. You get a little feisty. What do you think about the election? What do you think the future of America is with the Trump administration or a Kamala Harris administration?
Well, I think if Kamala wins, let's take the disaster first. So if she wins, then real estate in Florida and Texas explode. Okay, it'll be I'll make more money. I'm not voting for Kamala. I will definitely vote for Donald Trump. But if Kamala wins, real estate in Arizona, Texas, and Florida will explode because all that blue money, conservatives that live in blue cities and blue states are going to immediately move down here. If Trump wins, it's business as normal. I just finished a tour in the Middle East. I was in 5 countries over there, from France to Morocco to the UAE. And I can just tell you over there, they want Donald Trump to win. I had probably 3 dozen meetings, and without provoking anybody, or they all said, hey, we need
Sure.
Donald Trump to win. We need America to be healthy. America's in trouble. Those countries over there don't want America. They want America to do well. All you guys that hear all this stuff about, they hate America. They don't. There's nobody on the planet that hates America. They love America. They want us to do well. They want us to keep winning. They want us to succeed because we're a great example. And to a person, they said, hey, we want Donald Trump to win. This woman, we don't know what this woman is, or who she is, or what she's up to.
Nobody does.
And they all weird.
Yeah. America's a great place. It's only hated by people in America, many of them college professors teaching kids to hate America, which is a very strange thing to me, really strange, to be quite honest. Let me ask, what is the biggest concern for you besides financial illiteracy in America? Is it national debt? Is it the stock market? What concerns you when you look out across the horizon?
The debt doesn't really bother me because all debt's terrible debt. The U.S. government, that's basically all we have is, that is our product. That's what we manufacture here. What concerns me the most is that we keep going down the road that we're going right now. Manufacturing should be done here in America. It should be done right here. We would not have the problems. What's happening at the ports concerns me greatly. I would personally rather give those port workers a $200,000 bonus than give $150 billion to 20 million illegal immigrants. So I'd rather give the money to the dock workers that unload our ships and provide goods and services to our country than give it to Ukraine. So that's what concerns me. I think we should manufacture in America. We should build things in America. We should give incentives to build things in America. Become financially independent right here in America, and the rest of the world will still want to come here. And all these wars, all this money that we're spending on these crazy wars, Steve, is insanity to me. Spend the money here.
I could not possibly agree with you more. We have no business in Ukraine. We have no business being in that war, and $200 billion when we're told that FEMA is broke and can't help the people of Western North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, and North Georgia that got pummeled by this hurricane, many of whom are still out of touch. And by the way, they just grounded all the private drones, so the drones can't fly over and tell you what's really going on in these towns like Castle Rock and some of these other places. It's remarkable. Asheville's been destroyed, and we're not allowed to talk about it or see it. It is remarkable to me. Meanwhile, I've got these people that tell me that the freedom of speech ought to be parked, and we shouldn't have this right and that right. It's nuts to me, Grant.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Zelensky comes into town this week, walks away with $8 billion.
Right. But we can't help out the American citizens of Western North Carolina or Eastern Tennessee, where we've got a bunch of illegals looting homes, according to the police there. There are a lot of things that have to be fixed, but I'm an optimist. So are you. I believe we can fix it. I do believe we can fix it. I believe that hard work and dedication and commitment can really get us a long way down the road. I think you feel the same.
You need people that have fixed problems to fix problems. So like the 4 million homes short, we have 4 million homes short in this country. That's what keeps the housing prices so high. You don't go out and build 4 million homes in 5 minutes. Okay.
No.
You got to come up with other creative solutions that don't require taxpayers, by the way.
Exactly my point. We don't want the government to build 4 million homes. We want private enterprise to get on board and build 4 million homes. That's what we want, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just give it to guys like me to solve those problems. The enterprising people have always been the ones to solve problems. Business owners, entrepreneurs, capitalists, man. We solve problems. Let the government stay out of it.
You know,
And the way to do that is to cut the government off. Don't give them money. Reduce your tax bill as much as you can and quit feeding the beast.
well, exactly right. I mean, petroleum, railroads, the Erie Canal, I could go through history. Capitalists built the infrastructure of this country, not government dollars, not government bureaucrats. People that really believe, J. Paul Getty and Rockefeller
That's
and all
right.
of these folks, they built the infrastructure that created. I mean, when we needed gas stations, the government didn't say, hey, we need to build 10,000 gas stations. We didn't do that, did we?
Well, every time they get involved, you can't build anything.
Well, exactly. And they want to build charging stations. They spent $8 billion. I don't believe they've built one. All right, so it's the 10X Wealth Conference. It's coming up October 9th and 10th in Miami. There's a couple of seats available. You'll be able to see me, Grant Cardone, that great cast of very successful people. If you want to hear from the best, learn from the best, have some wisdom, it's the place to be. Grant Cardone, I'll give you the last word.
Hey, I appreciate you. Look, America's a great country. Everybody in this country, there's so much money in this country. It's unbelievable. Every family in America, I know this is hard to believe, every family in America should be wealthy. Every one of us. We should have the wealthiest, most prosperous middle class on planet Earth. And that should be the thing that people come here for.
Grant, always appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you.
Can't wait to see you and the wife, especially your wife.
Yeah, absolutely. Ivy will be right there, right next to me. All right, Grant Cardone, thank you for being here.
Okay, man. Thank you.
We'll take a break. That's it. It's the Steve Gruber Show.